Okay, we are going to go into a little mobility session. It's going to be a full body flow type thing. So it's basically just going to be a way to get a nice stretch on the muscles that you've been using and a nice way to supplement your resistance training. So I want you to just grab a mat or a towel or something that you can lay down onto. If any of these feel like too much, basically just you can come back out of the movement. And if I'm sitting in something for a period of time, don't be scared to just come back out of it, move into it again. If there's any like prolonged holds or anything like that, just go at your own pace and yeah, enjoy. Okay, we're going to aim for around 20 minutes ideally. So we're going to start down onto the mat. So we're going to go cat-cow first. So I want you to have your hands directly under your shoulders. I want you to have your knees directly under your hips. From here, we want to dip the lower back and pull the shoulder blades back as you look up. You don't need to worry too much about how high you're looking up. What we're trying to get here is the dip in the lower back, and then pull your shoulder blades back. And breathe. Then we're going to do the opposite. We're going to tuck the pelvis under. We're going to round the upper back and breathe. As if you're pushing the floor away. Slowly, slowly, slowly. You want to try and think about the vertebrae in your back and like slowly moving them. And one by one if you can. So we want them to move. The thing with our backs are we're often scared to move them, but we need to be able to move our backs. Take a nice big deep breath in each position. And moving again. With our backs as well. So we're going to pause here. Now I want you to stay in this position, but I want you to twist. So I want you to try and bring your left hip and your right shoulder towards each other. So you're just going to try and get our spine moving laterally or sideways. So you're getting a little stretch along the side. It might not feel like much, but you're just trying to get that shoulder towards the hip, getting a stretch on the opposite side of your back. So with our back, what I was saying is that our upper back and our lower back are different. So our thoracic spine is the upper part of our back and the lumbar spine is the bottom part. With the lumbar spine, it's there for stability. So that's where we need to be able to keep it in control. With our upper back, it needs to be able to move. So you want to be able to brace your core, keep your lower back in control, and then you want to be able to move through your upper back. Okay, so we're going to actually move into that next. So what I want you to do here is I want you to just drop down your elbow, and then you're going to have one hand on the side of your head, and you're just going to tap that elbow towards the other one. Come up, breathe out. It's not going to be a huge movement, but what we're doing here, trying to get that elbow to the sky or the roof, is we are trying to get our thoracic spine, that upper part of the back, to move the way it's supposed to. Our backs are usually the thing that the part of our body that's restricted a lot, especially women, especially mothers, because whether it is if you feed, if you've breastfed in particular, but you're usually going to be hunched over for a lot of time if you're lifting kids, feeding them, and just in general with our jobs as well. If you have a laptop or a computer-based job, you are going to be hunched over a lot of the time. So we want to move our upper back and strengthen it as well. That's why the back exercises are super important in strength training. Okay, and coming back up. So you should start to feel that, like, okay, I can feel my shoulders or my back starting to feel a little bit warm. We're going to move now and go into the hips a little bit. So we're going to bring our left leg forward. If you're using a mat or a towel or just the floor, your knee, so your left knee should be in line with your left hip. So use the side of the mat to see is it in a straight line. I don't want your knee out here. I don't want it in there. It should be a straight line. Then the back knee should be in line with your back hip as well. So it should be like a 90 degree angle at both knees. Okay. What we're going to do in this one is we're going to try and lean forward. You can grab the outside of your foot and you can have one hand on the ground. We're just going to drop down and we're just going to move across towards that foot. You'll feel a stretch in your hip as you move across your chest towards that foot and then come back out of it. So breathe. And then we're going to pause here, so you can just have your hand holding your foot, drop this elbow and just try to relax down towards your chest, towards your knee. If that's too much, you can just come back up as well. You don't have to have your elbow down. So again, wherever your tightness is, you'll know yourself how much you can push. And coming back up. Perfect. Coming back up, now you're going to reach your hand out to the side instead of in front. Hand out to the side and you are just going to reach across and come back down. So you're going to reach across and come back. And coming up, we're going to switch sides. Same thing now, so you want to have your knee and your hip in line with the other side of the mat. And then the same here, your knee is out from your hip here. From here, you are going to just grab the bottom of your foot, reach forward, and you're going to shift towards your foot. We talk about the breath. You always hear me talking about the breath when we're exercising. When you are trying to do mobility or like reach a new range of motion or like increase your flexibility, your breathing becomes even more important. Because as we tense our muscles, we are kind of restricting them from being able to get into that movement and kind of like telling our muscles and our tendons and our joints and stuff that it's safe. And then drop that elbow, lay the chest down. So if you're in this position, for example, and you feel your front hip feels a bit tight, and it feels like, yes, there's a stretch, but it feels like you're kind of tensing it and it's super tight, I want you to take a big deep breath in. And as you breathe out, I want you to think about where you feel that stretch and try to relax that area as you breathe out. Hello. And then you're going to bring that hand, oh, we've got a down dog. You're going to bring that hand out to the side and you're going to reach over. And come back up. Now I'm going to face you and we're going to have your feet wider than your hips. Wish you could see how you're stretching. You're going to have your feet wider than your hips, and what I want you to do here is I want you to just drop both knees first, side to side. Slow it down when you're doing this, because sometimes you'll just see people do it super fast. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get both your knees to touch the ground, but not lifting your hips fully off the ground. And then from here, same position. Now I want you to just focus on one knee. So we're going to drop your right knee down if you can. So this knee stays up, one knee goes down. If you can only get to here, that's fine. This is just internal rotation of the hip, and it can be restricted for a lot of women. So this is a good way to start to increase it. If you can only reach so far, come back up and just work on going a little bit further each time. A few more. Last one. And switch sides. And you may notice that one side is a lot more restricted or tight than the other. Completely normal. But it's good to notice where your kind of imbalances are. And if they're really bad, then it's something that you can work on incorporating into your exercise. I think I've just killed a mosquito on my leg. Last one. And done. Okay, coming back up. We are going to go into standing. Let's get that mosquito away. We're going to go into standing, and what you're going to do is you're just going to break at the hips, and you're just going to fall, and just wherever your hands land, whether it's behind your legs, whether it's on the ground, you're just going to stay here. You're just going to kind of move your spine. Where's he gone? And breathe. You can grab your elbows. You can rock side to side. And then from here, you're going to have your hands and you're going to walk all the way out, forward, into a push-up position. You're going to stay here, and then you're going to shift back, hips back. You can pump the ankles, so drop the heels towards the mat or the floor to get a stretch at the back of your calves. Try and push the floor away with your hands, and you're going to get a stretch in your shoulders. From here, we're going to go forward. We're going to drop down. Okay, you're going to have your hands under your shoulders, and you're going to open your knees a little bit, and you're going to shift back into child's pose. So hips go back onto your feet, drop your chest. Big deep breath in, and breathe out. When you're breathing in here, I want you to imagine that you're like trying to really inflate your ribs at your back. So really like breathe into your upper back. And then we're going to shift forward. We're going back to chest to the floor, and then you're just going to squeeze your glutes, push them into the ground. Don't let your hips lift. I don't want your hips to come off the ground. I want you to push your hips into the ground. Squeezing your glutes, keeping them active. Your arms won't be straight here. Come back down, tuck your toes. You're going to lift up. If you can lift up fully, like a push-up, great. If you can't, you'll just lift up onto your knees, and then up, and then back into your down dog. So it's a little bit of a sequence in this one. Breathe. Notice where it feels tight. You can spend more time there. Really push the floor away with those hands. You can stay here. You can be static, so your heels are just aiming to touch the floor. Feel it in the back of your legs. Come forward, drop down, open knees, shift back into child's pose, and breathe. Breathe into the upper back. Spread those ribs. And breathe out. You should feel your shoulder blades kind of separate on the breath in. And then relax. Shift forward, going into cobra. Squeeze your glutes. Push up, hips go into the ground. Back down, back up into push-up position. Shift back into your down dog. This is the last one. The last down dog, and then we're going to bring forward our front leg. So we're going to go into pigeon pose. So just bring one knee forward. Back leg, imagine it's getting pulled back. So really push that as far back as you can. Feel that stretch along this hip. Hands will be on the ground here. Stay nice and tall and just breathe into it. And slowly lower. You're going to drop to your elbows. You're going to reach out in front if you can. Try and get your chest as close to the ground as you can. Only go to where it feels comfortable for you, and you can just stay there and breathe. And slowly come back up. Tuck your back foot, lift up and switch legs. Stay nice and tall. Push that back foot as far back as you can get it. Hands here on your fingertips. Stay nice and tall. You'll feel a stretch along your hip flexor as well, if you're feeling tight there. Shoulders back. Nice big deep breath. Remember, on that breath out, wherever you're feeling tight, try to actually relax that area as you breathe out. Slowly drop down. Drop to your elbows. Reach out in front if you can. Pay attention to where it feels tight. And relax it on that breath out. And slowly come back up. Bringing both knees to the floor. What I want you to do, I will face forward for this one. Both knees, you're going to have one leg out to the side. I want it to be directly in line with your knee, so your foot is in line with your knee. It's not out in front like this. Okay, then you're going to reach out in front. And then from here, you're going to drop back. I'm not moving my hands. I'm just pushing my hips back towards my back foot. You should feel the stretch along the inside of the straight leg, your adductors. One more. And sit. We're going to stay here. Drop the elbows. Try and get that foot as far away as you can. And just breathe into it. Ralph. Come back up. Switch knees. Opposite foot out. Hands out in front. Shift back. 1, 2. You may notice in this one as well, generally there's one side that can feel tighter when you do this stretch, and that can come down to similar to what I mentioned earlier about one side having better rotation at the hip. And stay here. Try and get that foot away from the body and just relax. Come forward, bring yourself back down onto the mat. We're going to lay back onto it here. What I'm going to get you to do here is bring one ankle across the knee, and I want you to bring your hand through that space in the center, and the other hand can just be behind the leg here. Pull that in, and what you're trying to do to increase the stretch here is imagine pushing this knee away from you to increase that stretch. You don't have to physically push it, just push it away in your head. You don't have to use your hands, but just try your best to do it by itself. What I meant by in your head is like find that connection yourself without having to physically get your hand to push it. Just realised that sounded really funny. You can straighten this leg, increase that stretch more. Wherever you feel increases the stretch, so pushing the knee in and then the other knee away. Swap over. Coming in. We're nearly done. Generally, your hips are going to be the area that feels quite tight, as well as the upper back, I find. And drop back down. You're going to bring one knee in to the chest. Keep that other leg straight. Just pull that in. Big deep breath. And then the opposite hand is going to grab the knee and pull it across the body as you reach and look the other way. Trying to keep this shoulder on the ground. You might feel a little tightness along here, like a little pop sometimes in your lower back. Bend, keep that top knee bending, keep looking the opposite direction. And breathe. This arm might be up here and there's nothing you can do as long as you're trying to reach down towards the ground. And come back around. Opposite knee up, tuck it into the chest. Pull it in nice and tight. Opposite hand's going to pull that across as you reach and look the other way. I can feel the mosquitoes starting. And coming back around. Pull the knees into the chest. You can rock side to side. Both legs straight. Hands open up, palms facing up. Relax, big deep breath in to the belly. Exhale. Last one, we're going to count 4 seconds in, hold for 4 seconds, and then breathe out for 4 seconds. Deep breath in, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And relax, that's really hard to do whenever you're talking as well. And done. What are we on? Okay, maybe 25 minutes. not bad. Hopefully you feel a little bit better after that. I know I do, and it's one of those things that you put off, but it's actually quite nice when you actually do it. So you can repeat this one, and I promise that I will record more.